Hi everyone, it's Marcus again. I just wanted to make another video real quick about some tips on how to get in shape for your Army physical fitness test. I know last time I discussed some tips on how to be successful in basic training, but I didn't really go into details about physical fitness. I mean, there's a bajillion different videos you can watch about how to get in shape. I'm not really going to have any unique insights on it. What I would say is you really want to be in shape before you go into the Army, because when you get to basic training, a lot of it's just calisthenics, a lot of it's just body weight exercises, and you're going to be really restricted on how many calories you can eat. Unless you're piling on bread and snack cakes in the morning, you're going to be hitting about 1,500 calories a day. Sometimes you might get MREs and get some extra calories, but the drill sergeants probably won't let you have candy. I mean, you're not going to be eating a whole bunch of extra snacks. If you're used to snacking a whole bunch now, you're just not going to be doing that. You can kiss that goodbye. You're not going to have a bag of chips. You're not going to have some M&Ms. It's just gone. Secondly, at the DFAC, where you're going to be eating and training, they don't necessarily serve the most nutritious meals. You might be eating chicken cordon bleu and rice, or beef cubes and rice, or chili. I mean, those are great meals, but there's not really enough protein in it, I'd say. That's just my personal opinion. There's people who've been successful, on high carb, low fat diets that have gotten, huge muscles and everything. But from a fitness standpoint, you want to go in with some sort of development, because you're probably going to lose a lot of muscle mass that you've stored up. The Army is really run centric. They really want you to be able to run for a very long way at a very fast time. And I think that's a mistake, but that's just my personal opinion. I think that they should concentrate more on sprints, more on strength than just on straight up endurance like that. But again, just my personal opinion. Anyway, so the first thing you're going to want to do to get into shape for the Army is you're going to want to buy a 40-pound vest and just start drinking raw eggs, like 12 raw eggs every day. And that's really going to give you a good foundation on what you need to be able to do. Just wear that 40-pound vest, run everywhere, run 6 miles a day. Got to be able to run a 5-minute mile every time you run, and just really get into shape for the Army, because, I mean, they're looking for the best. They're not going to take just anyone. No, I'm just kidding. Seriously, what you're going to want to do is there's 3 events on the test. There's push-ups, sit-ups, and a 2-mile run. And to be successful, you're really going to want to see where you're at, especially when it comes to the 2-mile run. So let's say you can run a 20-minute 2-mile. That's what I was at, not too long ago. I was way slow. I'm trying to get back into shape right now. But you're running a 20-minute 2-mile extremely slow. I mean, that's 10 minutes a mile. That's terrible. But, I mean, everyone's got to start somewhere. So you're running this slow 2-mile, and you're like, well, how can I get my time up? I mean, there's people in the Army that run a 20-minute 2-mile. This is not just people out on the street. I mean, when I was taking PT tests in the Army Reserve, there were people who could barely hit 20 minutes. I mean, it's not uncommon. So what you can do to get your time down is to start doing interval training. So what I've done, here's the app I use. It's called Tabata Timer. I'll put a link in the description there. What it does is it will give you a time limit for your cool downs and your run. What I do is I set it to 120 seconds running, 120 seconds walking. And what that allows you to do is it allows you to burn fat, because you're doing high interval intensity training. And number 2, it gives you practice on just being quick, and then you get plenty of rest. So if you're not used to running 2 miles, this is the way to do it, because you don't have to run 2 miles. You just have to run 1/4 of a mile, as fast as you can, and then you get to rest. And that'll build up over time to where you're much faster. I mean, like I said, not too long ago, 20-minute 2-mile, already seeing a lot of improvement. Not where I need to be, but a lot faster. And you just got to practice it, because running really isn't very much about like being strong in your legs. It's about working your lungs. It's about getting your heart stronger. And that's what you're going to be doing here. You're just going to be working your lungs and your heart. And every time you lose some fat, you lose some weight, that'll make you quicker on the run too. I've seen guys who are just completely jacked when I was in the Army, and they just couldn't run a 2 mile. They just had too much weight. And that's a shame. But I think that if you practice it, even if you are big and buff, I mean, look at the Navy SEALs. They're all huge and jacked, and they run 4 miles, 6 miles. They have no problem with it. If you just practice it, you'll be able to do it. The next thing I would tell you is that you're going to need to be able to do plenty of push-ups. There's an app called the 100 Push-Up Challenge. You should definitely download that, and you should definitely follow it. I mean, it'll take you from being able to do 0 push-ups to being able to do 100 push-ups. And it's free. So I don't know why you wouldn't take advantage of that. Make sure you give yourself plenty of rest. You know, make sure you're eating enough. Don't eat too much. You don't want to be fat, but make sure you're giving yourself plenty of rest and you follow that. Pull-ups. They don't test pull-ups in the Army, but you're going to want to do pull-ups. You're going to want to be able to do several pull-ups, and I'll tell you why. Because they don't test it, but you will be doing pull-ups during PT, and there's also rope climbing and there's tower climbing during the obstacle course. And don't be like me. When I went in the Army, I was the fastest runner alive, but you know, who cares if you can't even pull up your own body weight? I mean, I just had no muscle mass in my upper body whatsoever. I couldn't climb a rope. I couldn't pull my body weight up over something. Be able to do some pull-ups. Better yet, if you can do some muscle ups, or you know, kipper push-up, what are they called? Kipping pull-ups, whatever. Be able to do them. That'll just help you out. There's an app called the 20 pull-up challenge. If you can do 20 pull-ups, great. If you can do 50, even better. I mean, it's going to do is benefit you. You're going to look like the hardest Navy SEAL basic training member, basically. I mean, you'll look great, and you want to. Final thing about the test is sit-ups. If you're good on the run, your hip flexors will be nice and loose, so you'll be able to do plenty of sit-ups. The only thing I've seen on the sit-ups are guys who weigh too much, who are overweight. They have trouble doing the sit-ups because I don't know what it is. I mean, I'm not a fitness expert. Like I said, you should probably watch the other videos, but like maybe their stomach gets in the way, or maybe it's just too much weight, you know, in their upper body, so they can't pull themselves up. So you want to be fast on the run. That'll get your hip flexors nice and loose. Do some warming up before you go in there. You can practice this sit-up too, obviously, just like anything else. You can practice it. I think there's a sit-up app too. I haven't downloaded it, but the sit-up challenge app would be just fine. And finally, a last word about nutrition. Like I said, when you get to basic, you're going to be at the mercy of whatever they're serving. It might be junk food. It might be good food. I mean, it is what it is. So you want to make sure that you're in pretty good shape when you get there. You don't want to be 20% body fat rolling through the door. You're going to have a horrible time. Get down to 14% body fat, you know. Go in there with a lean frame and kick butt. All right, well, if you like this video and want to see some more, just click that like button and subscribe to me, and I'll be rolling out some more content. All right, have a good day.